Hey guys, come with me. Let me show you something really cool. This is the Jeep Wrangler 4xe, and the way that you know it's a 4xe is the light blue recovery hooks, and that means that it's the very first ever electric Jeep. Isn't that right, Tommy?
Yeah, it's the first ever electrified Wrangler, and in this video we are going to see what it's like off-roading in the future. Totally silent.
So this 121, that is Red Cone Road. It is one of the harder off-road trails here in Colorado. And we're going to take that electric Jeep to over 12,000 feet above sea level, and we're going to try to do it using only electricity. In fact, we're going to try to see how far we can get using only electricity, but there is a catch. That Jeep is 500 to 700 pounds heavier than the equivalent Rubicon Wrangler. So that's going to make it maybe a little bit more difficult.
Here's how the 4xe works. In the front, you'll find a 2-liter turbocharged engine powered by dead dinosaurs, pretty similar to other gasoline Wranglers. That makes about 270 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque, but sandwiched in between the engine and the 8-speed transmission is an electric motor, and that brings the power output up, but it brings the torque output up a lot to 470 pound-feet, which is the same as the V8 Hemi Wrangler. This is where you charge up the battery, which lives back here. It is a 17 kilowatt-hour battery, and that means that this Jeep on the road can go about 20 miles on a single charge before the gasoline engine kicks on. And then, of course, you fill up the gasoline engine back here like a normal Jeep, except I forgot, you have to push a button to pop open the fuel filler, and that's because the gas tank is pressurized. It's an emissions thing.
Now, speaking of buttons, there are 3 unique buttons in the 4xe, and they're right here. The first one is hybrid, which means the Jeep drives like a regular hybrid. Sometimes it uses electricity, sometimes it uses the gas engine. Then there is electric, and that's what we're going to be using. Basically, it drives like an electric car. And of course, this e-save button allowed us to bring the vehicle to the trailhead completely, well, almost completely charged, like 95%. It lets you save the battery for when you're off-roading, like today. What, Tommy?
92%.
Oh, we use some more electricity?
Yeah, 92%.
Now, we just did a range test on this using our regular loop, and it got 27 miles of pure electric range.
We've gone 10.9 miles, and according to this, we still have 18 miles left on the battery. So if that keeps going, we're actually going to get more distance, or a longer distance than it initially said. All right, we are down to 2 miles, and we've gone 24.9 miles. So we're at 25 miles now in terms of distance. Once again, its prediction is pretty close. Oh, we're down to 1 mile. There it goes.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. So it says electric mode temporarily unavailable, and it went at 26.6 miles. So
I'm going to reset the odometer, and we're going to find out how far going straight up a mountain it goes in pure electric mode.
It just jumped up to 93% state of charge. The engine kicked on. It says 19 miles of all electric range, but probably not up a mountain, so I'm going to go ahead and reset all the info, and we'll see how it does. Now, this is a Rubicon with 2 high, 4-wheel drive auto, 4-wheel drive high neutral, and 4-wheel drive low. We're definitely going to need 4-wheel drive low out on the trail today, and apparently it will run in electricity in 4-wheel drive low as well. And just above that, check that out, front and rear locking differentials. Of course, being a Rubicon, it's got a sway bar disconnect. There's also an e-hybrid screen in this vehicle, and if you look at the power flow, you can see exactly what's going on and when. So there's this, a section here for the gasoline engine, battery, and then of course climate control usage as well. And this little power indicator indicates when you're running on electric mode, gasoline mode, and then of course I like that it gives you the kilowatt output for everything.
Will you make it official and hit that electric button so that we're now completely, well, I was going to say green, but really blue in the Jeep world?
Yep, so I'm taking it out of e-save. Electric.
Oh, it just died.
All right.
Exciting times, Tommy.
4-wheel drive low, very weird. We're moving.
Now the trick with this guy, of course, is that because it's got all the batteries, right? You've actually got an electric motor, batteries, and a gas engine. It's very heavy.
Yeah, so I was just looking at the GVWR, comparing it to the payload capacity, and taking a quick look at the curb weight on this thing.
Yeah.
We're talking like over 5,000 pounds, probably closer to 5,500 pounds.
You know, it's kind of dark in here. Why don't we take advantage of this incredible soft top, huh?
Okay.
And just, yeah. Okay. All right. I'll get it here.
You want to get it?
Yeah, I'll get it. There we go.
So the Jeep is saying 19 miles of range on electricity.
Yeah, but
Something
that's not
tells me
uphill.
that's not up a mountain over boulders.
Yeah.
All right, so this is going to be a really good test. I'm a little bit worried about it because batteries, can't be punctured, right? They can't have any impact on.
Yeah, but they're skid plates. It's a Rubicon. I'm sure they protected it.
That's what they say, but
Yeah.
it's going to be a good test to see just how much they have, because we are going to be on the skid plates today. We're going to be on the rock rails today. We're going to be totally flexed out in places. It's going to be a fun day. This is such a weird experience, Dad, right off the bat.
I know. It's so strange just hearing that electric power plant. You know what else is weird? Most electric cars don't have transmissions, and because of the way Jeep chose to sandwich the motor between the engine and the transmission, we actually have gears.
Yeah, and I believe it's a ZF unit, and it will shift as a normal automatic transmission would from different ratio to different ratio. So every now and then we'll feel a little jerk as it upshifts.
Well, coming up pretty soon is what we like to call the gatekeeper, right? It's
Right.
the obstacle that that sign that we saw down there proves that they're serious about high clearance vehicles. You know what? In Colorado, when you see a sign that says high clearance vehicles recommended, pay attention to it, as you'll soon see. So for those of you who are coming out here to Colorado to run this trail, I was wrong. It's 565, but you need to take the other one to get to 565. And for the most part, I'm not sure, but I think it's a one-way, so you run it going, well, the way we're going. You don't run it from Keystone, but you run it from Kenosha Pass side. I've grabbed this hand camera, Tommy, so people can get a sense for what it's like wheeling without any engine note.
Very weird, to be honest, Ed. The wheels, you hear the wheels crunch over the rocks, you hear the tires go through the little streams, the little puddles, and there's just a slight whir from the electric motor and the electric power steering. But apart from that, it's like going for a hike.
Yeah, and you've got interesting instrumentation here, so it's actually telling you where the power is going and which wheels are turning. So we've got the battery powering basically all four wheels, and it tells you actually how many kilowatts you're using too, which is pretty cool.
And I think this vehicle should also have off-road pages, so it will not only show us energy usage, but it will also show us stuff such as steering angle, when the diffs are locked, all that. It takes a hot sec for it to initialize, though.
Yeah, well, there it goes. It just went there. No, not yet. It's still trying to get a little graphic. There we go. So we got all of our...
Got gauges. We also have drivetrain information, as well as pitch and roll.
It's so cool to actually not only be off-roading, but hear nature. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is very neat.
I feel like I am, shall I say, at one with the the spectacular beauty of Colorado. The birds are singing, the rocks are creaking, the Jeep is electrically driving me up to the beautiful summit of Red Cone. It's a whole different experience, dude. Was that too poetic?
Well, it is YouTube after all.
And of course the bugs are in my face. That is part of nature as well. Well, look, Tommy, some fellow Jeepers.
Making noise though, Dad.
Making noise, yeah. Hey kids, stop making noise.
Let's talk about some initial impressions off-roading the Wrangler 4xe. First of all, you hear a lot more birds, but second of all, I'm very impressed with the power delivery and the ability to modulate the electric motor. Electric motors can make all of their torque at 0 RPM like that, and I was worried it would be a little bit herky-jerky to modulate, but it feels very easy. In a lot of ways, more precise and a little bit more, I don't want to say delicate, but a little bit easier in some ways than a gasoline Wrangler, because you don't have to deal with coming on to a torque band. It's all right there, but not too much where you're like herking yourself forward. Now, I'm not really sure what gear I am in. Oop, that kicked on the engine when I went to select the gear. I'm gonna try that again. All right, engine off. When you go to select a manual gear, it kicks on the gasoline engine. That's good to know. But I think I'm probably, oh, it does tell you first gear. So first gear in electric, there's second. There's a little bit of a jerk as we upshifted into the next ratio, but wasn't anything crazy, didn't slam me back in the seat. That's third gear. Now we're doing about 5 miles an hour. Down in a second again, completely seamless. Very an interesting thing for an EV owner like myself, because typically an EV is a direct drive unit. The other concern I had is if we start pointing this up hills, is it going to automatically override electric mode and go with the gasoline engine? And so far it has not. I did drive the only other somewhat off-roader with an electric system, the Range Rover PHEV, and I was very disappointed in that. The second you point that up something even a little bit aggressive, it automatically kicks on the gasoline engine and knocks you out of EV mode. But that isn't happening here, which is very cool. Alright, so update. We have driven 0.4 miles. We have used about 12% of the battery. So, okay, we just hit half a mile. So that will give us a range of, you know, somewhere in between 4 and 5 miles of 4-low rock crawling fun in all electric mode. But then don't fear, because once you run out of electricity, it'll just kick on the gasoline engine. There's this big misconception that you only have 20 miles of range in the Wrangler 4xe. No, you have over 250, 270. It will just turn into a normal hybrid. We are approaching the gatekeeper, and in the past this has been a very difficult boulder that typically involved riding hard on the skid plate. But it's kind of looking like someone has moved the obstacle a little bit. Man, this EV thing is pretty cool. I have to say, I am very impressed. We are burning battery at an alarming rate. Now, 17 kilowatt hours, that is a sizable unit. It is a very sizable unit. I mean, when you consider that the fully electric Leaf launched in the US with a 24 kilowatt hour pack, and this is a plug-in hybrid with 17, it's pretty crazy. Now, someone filled in the gatekeeper, it looks like. What the heck? Oh, shoot. Alright, well, not to fret. There's still plenty of rocks we gotta tackle over the next few miles, that's for sure. The gatekeeper was very hard. It was damaging a lot of vehicles, if I remember right. Really got hung up in a new Defender on that obstacle.
Come on. And when all else fails, throw a rock under the wheel. There you go. Still hung up, huh?
There we go. There we go. Yep, she's up.
Nice job.
All right. Hey, Tommy, somebody has decided that they don't like the gatekeeper rock.
Yeah.
And they moved it, making the gatekeeper a warm welcome to Red Cone, basically making it much easier.
That's true, Dad. Yeah, I mean, it's still a pretty sophisticated trail we're on here. It's still pretty difficult, but it was interesting that someone or some organization has changed it around quite a bit from last time I was out here last year. Now, Dad, I do have to say something.
Yes.
The ride is very good, but it is also feeling quite heavy.
Oh, God,
You
yeah.
know, the way the suspension loads and unloads indicates that this is a chunker. And as we start climbing, I'm curious to see if that, you know, starts hurting us in any way. But yeah, this is a heavy machine.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same weight as a G-Wagon, which is heavy.
Probably not far off. I mean, over 5K, definitely not far off.
And then we usually air down to 25 pounds, and I've never seen, actually, the tires get so squishy at 25 pounds of PSI.
Very true.
Also, Tommy, remember when you took the Tesla off-road, how much energy we use?
Yep.
I wonder if this is going to be the same thing. We did take a Model X off-road, and it burned prodigious amounts of electrons. This looks a little tricky. I'll go out there and film you, okay?
Yep.
I definitely hit there.
Yeah. We have noticed something pretty crazy here. Going up our Rocky Top hill, our consumption has been off the charts. Literally, we've been averaging over 1,500 watt hours per mile. So I have the rear locker engaged now, because we're about to get a little bit articulated here. I really like off-roading these Wranglers with the solid front axle. I mean, it acts as a teeter-totter and really does a good job of keeping wheels on the ground. It makes it a much less teetery, tippy experience, if that makes sense. Not that, of course, 4Runners and Broncos couldn't do this happily. It's a different feeling. I mean, these always feel very satisfying to off-road. Regardless of what you think of the Wrangler, they do have a very nice trail feel. Steering on the road is very unprecise, but off-road, it's very good, actually, because it's not darty or twitchy. So kind of what you want on-road is not really what you want off-road. But man, it does feel a little heavy. The way that when the suspension unloads and then transfers weight to the other side is a little bit like a boat in some ways, where it goes, whoa, especially in the rear.
All right, Tommy, we've got our first little obstacle up here. The guys from Illinois actually struggled.
Yes, they did, and they don't have the power of electrons, though.
They don't.
So what we're gonna do is do it better.
Do it better, yeah. Just put your wheel on the big rock.
And then we're gonna use the rock rail. I say if you pay for them, you better use them. So.
All right, let's show them the future of off-roading.
Ooh, let me go ahead and turn on lockers. Actually, that's a good idea. Before the obstacle. We're just gonna take it nice and slow. Still an all-electric. It's a little bit harder to 2-foot the electric one. All right, hard on the skid plate there, but that is what they're there for. I think I just dug that KO2 into a rock pretty good. First bit of trail damage here. I kind of slid off that rock that I was trying to avoid and ended up in a different rock with the wheel.
Yeah, well, you know, first rule of off-roading, you know, if you're not trail damaging something, you're probably not doing it hard enough.
Line.
Yeah, exactly.
Luckily, the KO2s held up well. You could see where I dug the sidewall. It's a very narrow part of the trail, but luckily it held up, didn't pop a bead, and I guess we'll just keep going.
Yeah, sorry, Jeep, but it's, I think, all in the good cause, right?
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're breaking some new ground here, so you got to break a couple, well, I was going to say eggs, but it's really rims to make a Jeep omelet.
We'll just say I'm really bad at parking against curbs.
Yeah, we'll blame it on Ian, our videographer.
Yeah, okay.
Right, Tommy, we're kind of going up a very steep part of the trail right here.
Yeah.
So I was curious to see how much power we're using. We're at between 10 and 16 max.
Kilowatts.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Well, it's actually less than I thought it would be, Dad. And I think a lot of that is due to the super low gearing of the Rubicon Wrangler. There's something on the skid plate, but, you know, if worst comes to worst, we run out of power. That's the great thing about the plug-in hybrid. We don't have to try to find a tree to plug into. We can just, you know, go to gasoline, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, we're getting close to having used a quarter of the battery now.
And more than that, we're at 67% state of charge. So we're burning through it pretty fast.
How far have we gone?
0.9 of a mile.
So yeah, we're looking at like 2 to 3 miles of range at this rate.
Yeah, at 9. Well, I mean, it's just been vertical, right? We've just been climbing straight up.
Yeah. And therein lies the issue for all you Cybertruck / Rivian fans when you're off-roading electric vehicles. We knew this was going to happen. It just burns a lot of electrons.
Sure
a lot
does,
of weight going up a steep hill. Like towing.
Like towing, you're right.
Hey, Tommy, what's that sound I hear? What is that?
It's not us, that's for sure. Those guys are hardcore, they got headsets. Very
sound, it's so weird. And that smell, what's that smell? Is that burnt gas? Where's the beautiful smell of the flowers, the wildflowers, and the trees, and the birds? I mean, come on. Now actually, I like the smell of burnt gas, I'm being honest.
What are you talking about?
It's a great smell. Reminds me of my youth and riding dirt bikes. Riding actually two-stroke dirt bikes.
Now that we've gone through some more technical terrain, I want to revise what I said about the shifting being really smooth and seamless. When you've got this thing on load up a hill, you know, or over boulders, it's actually a pretty jerky shift, and it's kind of a disheartening little clunk. And it's shifting constantly at about 2-3 miles an hour between first and second gear. So you get a lot of those kind of little bangs as it shifts in and out. And I wish there was a way where I could just like lock it in first in electric mode. But if I put it in manual mode, as we found out earlier, it's going to turn on the gasoline engine. So maybe something cool to consider.
Yes, Jeep engineers, TFL's top tip for you. Make sure you can lock it into first gear. Now, Tommy, are we at 50% yet?
52,
Oh my, how far have we gone?
1.4 miles.
We got some weather coming in.
Yeah.
We got some thunder and potentially lightning. And I gotta tell you, dude, being above tree line in Colorado in a lightning storm in a convertible is not ideal.
No, probably not. I mean, once we get above 10,000 feet, we're going to lose the coverage of the tree, and we're going to be above tree line, and then we're going to be the tallest thing out there.
Yeah, by far. And while I think it's called the Faraday cage effect of this Jeep will keep us from, you know, dying. I think if we get hit by lightning, this Jeep is going to fry, and bad things are going to happen.
It would be viral video.
Yeah, but what's the use of viral video if the camera gets blown out of my hand when the lightning hits the...
We'll put it on the glass. Glass won't conduct it.
It'll get blown off the glass too.
All right.
Well, I'm just saying, let's keep going, but if the lightning starts to come in fast and furious, I say we turn around. It's not worth any video to get struck by lightning.
That sounds good.
And I've been in this position before, Tommy. It's no fun. I've been up above tree line during a lightning storm, and it was terrifying. All right, this is the rock garden. It's probably the hardest part of the Red Cone Trail. After this, keeps going a little bit higher, and then you pop out above tree line. We're already at 10,600, and that's when we come head on into that lightning storm. We'll go up the hard part here, see how the Jeep does, and then finish the battery off. We're close. I do not want to be in a lightning storm above tree line in a convertible Jeep. It's just way too scary.
All right, here we go. POV up the rock garden, 34% battery remaining. First section here. All right, feels pretty good. On a skid plate, yep, right there. We just hit a skid plate. Wow, this sky is looking pretty frightening. All right, come on, Jeep. Let's see what you got here. We're gonna go ahead and engage front and rear lockers for this one. Axles locked. Spinning tires. Yeah, I was heavy in the throttle there. I was about half throttle through that section, and I was able to drive it out. Try cutting left here now. Let's see if we have the ground clearance. Yeah, it's fine. I'm just always amazed by how capable these Rubicon Wranglers are. They will do stuff you would not believe. It's pretty amazing what they'll do. Even in stock form, you really don't need to go ahead and lift them. And a long wheelbase one too. This is of course the 4-door. You can only get the 4xe in the 4-door Wrangler. You can't get it in the 2-door, so tons sometimes it does cut just a little bit of power as you try to spin tires. Oh no. No, it's doing a good job of actually letting me. I thought that was a power cut, but it is letting me spin. Gasoline engine still is off.
Oh, you got hit it with momentum. Back up.
Yep.
Back up.
Yep.
Keep going. Keep going. Okay, now go passenger with momentum.
All right, I'll hit it with some speed. There we go. Made it up. Oh, look at that. Pretty cool. That was really cool. Use zero fuel going up that too. All electric.
So check it out, guys. We have gone 2.5 miles and we're down to 17% of the battery. And Tommy is flying the drone and I'm driving the 4xe. You gonna land her?
It's a goal, Dad.
You gonna bring her down? How's the storm look?
It looks pretty gray. It's not looking black, though.
All right, well, we'll keep going. Got 17% of battery to go. Gonna land it on the hood? Show them how good you are?
A lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. You're on camera. Land it on the hood. You're close. That is the designated landing zone, Tommy, right there.
I'm working on it.
Look at that. Oop. While Tommy was flying the drone, I got a chance to drive this thing, and I wanted to kind of give you my impressions of what it's like to go wheeling in an electric. And I gotta tell you, Tommy, I love the ability to just use your big toe with that instant torque. It feels much more controllable. It feels much more pliable in a lot of ways, where just a little bit of throttle gets you exactly in the position that you want, as opposed to having to wait for that engine to spool up and, you know, provide the power. Here, it's right there right away. I like it. It's really good.
All right, well, the battery's almost at 4% state of charge. Now we got this really kind of gnarly articulated section. And we're probably gonna have to stick a locker on here, but we'll see what happens. Going into an open diff. Here comes the front end articulating into the hole. All right, so brake lock differential engaged and was able to distribute torque to where it needed to go. This is where solid front axles really kick in. Actually, it's doing such a good job of negotiating this. I'm not even using a locker. That is all the brakes. Very cool. We're gonna see that dip into the hole. Rise. Oh, so cool. So we did have a little bit of brake modulation, but we made it through. 3% battery, still on electricity. We just hit 3 miles driven.
All right, the dramatic moment as the lightning and thunder come rolling in, and as the Jeep runs out of critical electricity. Ironic, isn't it, Tommy?
Yeah, that is funny. Maybe we could stick a metal rod in the charge port.
Exactly, and charge it up, huh? If we were a cartoon, that's exactly what we would do.
All right.
How far have we gone?
3.1 miles.
Oh, we've gone 3 miles. I was expecting like 5. So,
yeah, me too, but it was all been uphill, right? There's been no chance to regen any power back into the battery, or energy.
Right there, 2%. Oh my, 2%. And the Mr. Quiet, the peace, the babbling brook, all that is going to be gone. Replaced by the
4-cylinder.
4-cylinder turbo, which, let's face it, isn't a very melodious sound for the most part.
All right, I'm looking at the tachometer.
All right.
Still is off.
Yeah.
But not for much longer.
No, it's straight 6. That would be very melodious.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But a 4-cylinder turbo.
Even heavier too, though, Dave.
Yeah, heavier. They should put like a 3-cylinder turbo in here.
3-cylinder?
Yeah, that would probably shed 100 pounds. Or how about one of those, like, didn't Ford have a 2-cylinder?
1%?
Uh-oh. A dramatic moment when that engine kicks in. Let's just be quiet and listen for it. For God's sakes, give it a squirt of throttle. Let that engine kick in.
It's the longest 1% I've ever seen.
It won't turn on, Tommy.
This is a lot. This 1% has lasted longer than all last 10%.
Wouldn't it be funny if the engine didn't kick on?
That would not be funny.
Yeah, we'd be stranded. We'd have to push it around the corner and hopefully it would roll down the hill. This 1% is never going away, dude. Becoming kind of like the perpetual 1% of energy. Engine 0, battery still giving us kilowatts. I can't believe this 1% and it's not turning on. All right, come on. This final. Oh, come on, engine. This is getting like a comedy now.
We're now at 3.4 miles. On like 1%, we've gone nearly half a mile.
Oh, it turned on. Finally. Like I said, just when we popped out above tree line, it turned on. There we go. How far do we get?
3.4 miles.
10,000, over almost 11,000 feet. Yeah.
Wow, okay, so
There we have it.
27 miles on the road, about 3.5 miles off-road. Pretty crazy.
All right, so right there is where we're going. And the storm seems to be kind of to the south and west of us. So we're gonna stop filming now. We're gonna try to bomb up the rest of it, get to the top of Red Cone, and then get down out of tree line and finish the video maybe quickly at the top, pop out. We don't want to get ourselves in danger, but see if we can actually get up and over the top. It would actually take us longer now to go back down than it would be to get to the top. Are you okay with that, Tommy?
Yep.
All right, let's get to the top and get back down as quickly as possibly and as safely as possible. Find a little incline to the top, and I think Tommy will jump out, do our close. What do you say?
Yep.
You know, kind of give our final thoughts on the 4xe and what it's like off-roading, and then I say we scurry down and get to below tree line as soon as possible. There's a little bit of a clearing. It's like we got very lucky with the weather. Storm seems to have passed us a little bit when we were in the tree line, but yeah, it's pretty spectacular being up here. And I gotta tell you, it's hard going back to a gasoline engine once you go electric.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. Of course, we didn't get as far as we wanted. Okay, so we went 3.4 miles. This battery is rated at 17.3 kilowatt hours. I don't know if that's usable or gross, but let's just say, since we started at, whoa, where's the top? Are we at the top?
Yeah,
that scared the hell out of me because I could just see Cliff.
We're at the top.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
I was about to do some maths and we almost drove to my death. All right, so let me do some math. So let's say 15 kilowatt hours used. So let's do 3 divided by 15. We average 0.2 miles per kilowatt hour, which is the lowest I have ever seen in my entire life. But that's all part of the fun. Let's close it up before we get killed.
Yeah, 7.5 miles, by the way,
total
to the top.
Yep.
Yeah.
We made it to the top. You can see the engine's running. 12,801 feet. It's raining. I'm super scared about lightning, and we're gonna go down.
We are the tallest thing out here right now, Tommy.
Yes. Well, you are. I'm a little shorter. Yeah, exactly. Duck on down. Overall, the Wrangler performed excellently. No issues. I'm sorry I curved the wheel. Feel really bad about that, but let's get down the mountain.
And you know what? I love in all electric mode. It's great. It makes for a very different experience, much less stress-free if it wasn't for the lightning.
Yep.
All right. See you guys. Thanks for watching. We're going to make it back down and hopefully shoot this again. Live to do another video. All right, let's go. I guess Tommy's driving. Doesn't trust me.